Hi, this session is about surveys and what surveys are used for and how we meant to be preparing them. Um, the reason for surveys is to collect data. So we want to get information about an issue, and to do that we design a survey to collect information about that subject. For instance, you want to see what is the favorite food for people in school canteen. Then you design a survey and you come out with an answer for that. So to do surveys, we design questions. So to perform any survey, you need to come up with a set of questions. For instance, if you want to see what is the favorite food for people and what type of food people want in a school canteen, you ask people, you give say a list of food to people, and then you ask them to rank them from, say, if there are 10 foods there, then from 1 to 10. So they call the the favorite food number 1, they mark it with 1, and the second favorite with 2 and 3 and so on. And based on the answers you get to those survey or questions, you make your raw data. You make your raw data, that is the data that you can start working on. Then you need to refine your data. Refining data means that you need to eliminate some of the answers which are not good enough to be included in your data. For instance, in the questionnaire that you have, and you ask people to choose their favorite food, and somebody in all of them answered 1. So all the 10 foods you put on the choices, somebody answered 1 for all of them, means all of them are favorites for that person. So that makes it inaccurate, and so you cannot include that in your data. You need information which are not controversial, information that are not information that is not good enough in terms of accuracy. So you need accurate information to put in your data and your analysis. And then you can collect your data in 2 ways. One is using a sample, the other one is to use the whole population. Say in the example I gave you, you want to see what is the people's choice for the food at school canteen. You can go around and ask everyone at your school about the choices of food at the canteen, or you can choose a sample of people, and from a school of, say, 900 students, we can choose to ask only 50 of them and then use that for your analysis. Each one of them has an advantage and a disadvantage. So if you're using the whole population, so you're asking all 900 students at your school, that will be time consuming and expensive. But if you decide to go by a sample, like a sample of 50 students, that will be quicker and cheaper. However, that information could be less accurate. That's why sometimes you see in politics all the polls which are published by newspapers or news agencies predict that a certain person is going to be elected as a president. But on the day of election, it turns out that the result was wrong and somebody else is elected as the president. Because what they do, they choose samples and they don't ask the whole population of the country. They might be asking thousands of people that they have chosen, and then this doesn't work out accurately because that thousands of people they have chosen doesn't represent the whole country properly. That's why this is a bit tricky, and we need to be very precise in the way we choose our sample. And the other thing is, when you're designing a survey, you're coming up with a number of questions. What you need to do is your questions should be easy to understand. So you use easy wording and obvious choices for people, and not to make it overcomplicated. And your questions should not be having leading questions. So you try to persuade people to choose the answer one way or another. For example, in the question of choosing food for canteen, you cannot start your questionnaire by saying cheesecake has been very popular recently at our school. Can you please answer the question to the following? Can you please answer the following questions? That doesn't work that way because you already you already advertise for one of the choices. You shouldn't be doing that. Then you should also provide adequate choices for people who respond. For instance, if in a question you are asking about a textbook and you put two options, I like this textbook, I don't like this textbook. But you should also put another answer which is unsure. Some people who haven't made up their mind. So this way your answer will be, your data will be more accurate. So you should be making sure that everyone with any type of thinking can reflect their thinking in your answers. And the other thing is you should respect people's privacy, especially if it is sensitive information. So one of the ways of doing that is you don't need to ask people, write their name on the question. So on the question sheets you are distributing, if wherever possible, don't get people to write their answers and to write their names, sorry. And if they write their names, don't make it part of your publication. So keep them private. That is some aspects we need to be considered when performing a survey and collecting data. Thank you for your attention.